Oh.
Welcome to the update. We're not even caught up on the videos yet, but we're here anyway, just to update y'all.
Yeah, we're just doing an update.
So we could come up with a topic. We may come up with the topic as we're talking. We don't really have one planned right now. So if y'all don't know, if you don't follow bodybuilding, the Arnold is in 1 week, right?
Yeah. So that's exciting.
What are your thoughts on the Arnold?
What are my thoughts on it?
Oh, so
it's back to being in March.
Yes. Columbus is no fun in March, y'all. See, I have Arnold on, and he's like even on the statue up there.
I heard that a lot.
And but it's rough in Columbus sometimes in March. I've been several times, and it's not been.
We live in Virginia, and
pretty.
It's not exactly.
Well, Columbus is worse.
Amazing here.
I'm telling you. So, on a positive note, in current events, because I love talking about masks and stuff. The CDC has relaxed their guidelines. So now I got an email saying that that schools do not have to wear masks, like students nor staff, at least in Roanoke County, don't have to. Well, I don't know if Salem said staff too. But anyway, so like, yeah, you can wear it if you want to wear it, which is sort of the way I think it always should have been. It should have
been like that to begin with.
If you want to wear a mask, and if you're concerned, wear a mask. You can wear a mask from now to the end of time if you want to. Like, it's your choice. It is your choice. It should not be made for you. That's my opinion. That's the update for the week. So, I am 9 weeks out. I weighed the same yesterday. This is my Saturday, is kind of my check-in. I weighed the same, and you know what? I didn't feel like doing pictures. And I always tell my clients, you need to do them anyway. And I said, you know what? I'm just skipping a week, because sometimes if you feel like a train wreck and you know it's going to like mess you up, then I think it's okay. Like, just, you kind of got to know yourself. Some people may go the opposite way, like it might derail somebody to not stay on track with checking in. Like, if you have a coach and they tell you to check in, then you should check in. But I'm my own coach, so I told myself it was okay. I told my client it's fine this time. So I mean, I actually feel like this is one of those times, y'all, where the scale is not the only indicator of progress. And I mean, I do feel like I'm losing fat, even if the scale doesn't show it right now. And it's hard. It's hard to, this is why I have him, because it's hard to judge yourself too. And like, so really, that's why you need pictures. But I mean, I can just tell, like, I've done this enough times that I can tell what I feel like, kind of internally, what my body feels like, as far as if I'm bloated or what time of the month it is or whatever. I can tell. So like, I feel like I can make a good judgment call whether I'm okay to not do pictures. And I do know that my probably number one thing that I have to work on right now is posing, and I need to do that more. I don't have the stage presence that I need. I probably never have, and which is probably why I've never done better than I have, because you need to have the confidence, and I am not that kind of confident that they look for on stage. I don't have the sassiness. I don't have I'm not a sass. I'm just more of a me kind of, so
she's a me.
It's a work in progress, for real. It's hard. All of the components. And I was just watching a video today when I was doing cardio, and they were saying that, and this is totally true, you can have the best physique ever, but if you can't present it the best, then you're not going to place where you should. Even if it comes down to the conditioning of you and somebody right beside you, if you do not pose the way that suits your physique, because my posing is not going to be the same as the girl next to me. You can't mirror somebody else. Like, you can't do what, in my mind, I'm doing one thing, but my body looks a whole nother way. So you have to learn what it feels like when your body looks the way it should, like presented its best. So it's really, really important. And, that's a struggle. But anyway.
If you don't know how to pose and you're getting into this
is our topic of the week. We're talking about posing.
We're going to talk about posing. Get a posing coach. If you can't, and even if you can, I guess, I've never had like a posing coach. She's helped me a ton, but she's a female competitor, so she really, there's poses that I have to do that she doesn't have to do, but she has helped me get to that point. And then I
still know from being at shows forever and ever and ever what a male should look like.
Well, you get to the point where if you can get the kind of mind muscle connection and know what you're supposed to be posing, but I mean, even my posing is not great. It could be a lot better. But if you've never posed and you're like trying for your first show, get a posing coach or go to a posing clinic.
Yeah, clinics are great for that. Like, I have had
there's lots of those.
Lisa Ham has helped me like several times over the years. She's in Roanoke. She's not in Roanoke now, she moved. Anyway, she helped me in person. I honestly feel like with everything video nowadays, that's one good thing that came of, I think that's one good thing that came of the pandemic. Everybody had to learn how to use video. At some point, even my 90-some-year-old aunt, like, what do we, FaceTime? Skype?
Yeah.
No, Zoom. We Zoomed. So, I Zoomed with her, which was totally amazing and unbelievable because we never would have done that any other time. And that's one really good way to work with a posing coach. And I've worked with Tina Johnson, who she is great to work with.
She does a lot of posing clinics.
Yeah.
With the OCB.
So, you can do virtual, you can do in person. I think one benefit of in person is if you've got a really good coach, they can move you where you need to be. Like, position your arms, move this way. It's a lot easier. Sometimes if somebody tells me something on video, I'm still not knowing what they're saying.
Think of posing like stretching. I'm not big on stretching, but if you're doing yoga, which I've done about 4 times, and there's some position that you're supposed to get into and you can't, and you have to force yourself into that position. It's kind of like that. You're a lot of times where you think you're hitting your pose needs to be even further than where you're hitting it, and it's it really does. And then to hold these poses, shoot, at the Yorton Cup this last year, I posed a lot coming into this show, and in the off season I just was always, every time I was in front of the mirror, I was always doing something different and learning more about myself. And it was good because this Yorton Cup, I posed the most I've ever posed on stage. They posed the crap out of me. I ended up posing. I was like in 3 different
groups.
Like 3 different groups posing. It seemed like I just kept being the one out there posing, and I still came in 9th. So, I mean,
don't let it frustrate
Um,
you either
if
with
you're,
where you're placing. Y'all, one thing you got to know, I know we're talking about posing, but for serious, you cannot let a competition placing get in your head. For real, it's not something that, everything is a learning experience. And just like with me posing, I've been doing it forever, but I've probably never done it right. And I've never put in enough time. And that's probably the one element that needs still more.
posing really,
Honestly,
so
people don't do what you do not do. People do all this prep. You do all this prep, you do all this planning, you do all this meal prepping, you do cardio, you
was
do
literally
weights,
what I was going to
and that's what you were gonna say.
Yeah. That's okay. No, I didn't want to talk.
Go ahead. You can say it too.
No, keep talking. You were doing a good
okay,
job.
go ahead.
What she was saying, how much time do you put in at the gym? You know, if you're actually training for a show, you're you want to do your first show, or you've already done shows, you're going to put all this time in at the gym, all the time that you put into every aspect of this, and then you're not going to learn how to pose. I mean, you put,
you can have the most amazing physique.
You put an hour to an hour and a half in the gym every, like, let's say 5 times. You're just doing 5 days a week, right? So that's right out of the gate. That's already, whatever, like 8 hours. That's 8 hours in the gym a week. And then all of your food prep, all the time you put into all that every week, every meal, every week, all this time that you've put in, you're only going to be on stage. Most shows, you're only going to be on stage for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, maybe 5.
And if
maybe 2.
You don't put the time in and learn how to pose, what the hell did you do for probably 12 hours a week? Nothing.
It really needs to be.
I mean, you need to pose.
I don't feel like that was ever emphasized to me enough. I mean, it was, but I don't think I ever fully grasped the importance. And honestly, they say you never have a second chance to make a first impression. And so if you don't walk out on that stage with the confidence you need and the sass if you need it, and then go right into your pose and like hit it. So one thing Tina told me all the time, because I will fidget. I'm a fidgeter. I will get into a position, but then I'm still moving once I'm in that position. And she fussed at me. She said, you have to turn into your position. You have to hit the pose and stick. Like, think of that in your mind. You have to stick the pose. You cannot keep moving your fingers, positioning your shoulders around, fidgeting with your legs, moving your feet. It's stuck. Like, you're there, you hit it, and you have to do it right the first time. So you have to know exactly what you should be doing for every movement.
And even if you just, off season, I'm going to do a show, maybe next year. And it's, so you're just kind of working towards that. It's you're going to be your first show. Start posing, start watching poses, go to a posing clinic.
If you know the show date, let's put it this way. If you know the show date, it's already been announced and you know when it's going to be, you should already be posing. And if you've done it multiple times, you can still tweak things. You can always tweak things. You can always make it a little bit better. You have to think of, you're probably going to look better on a certain side than the other, right? Like, we did his pictures this morning and one of his sides on quarter turns just looks a lot better. And that's normal. I'm the same way, I think. And the reason is, especially with your spinal alignment, when you are from the side, you kind of still have a twist in your body to lengthen. And so you've got like a slight rotation when you're in the side pose. One side tends to be more flexible than the other. So you get the actual, you get the rotation in the spine and like the lift through the rib cage easier, I think, one way, or I do.
Yeah.
He probably does too.
I mean, it's just practice. It's just practice, and more practice. And
it's not going to feel the same, is what I'm saying. One side is not going to feel the same as the other. I know I have to feel, I feel like I'm over rotating on one side for it to look the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
So it's all finding what works best for you and how to present it best. So super important.
It is.
That's the posing tips we have for
we
you.
didn't do our updates.
What's our updates?
Well, like where we are right
So
now.
that's okay. We will save it to the end. It's a surprise.
Well, it's end. Surprise. She weighs 212 pounds.
So my update, well, like I said at the beginning, that I hadn't changed any from last week. So my weight,
what were you last week?
Weight yesterday, hold on. I'm pretty sure I know, but I don't want to say
some of her skin folds were down though.
So yeah, my weight was still, yesterday was 148, and wait. Well, so I was like 148 points. No, I was 147 point. I was actually up 0.2 in a week, which is like no good. But honestly, y'all, I've said this before, you know, certain things are going to happen each month that make scale weight change. And
she's talking about lady things.
It's the lady things. So I was up 0.2, but like I said, I did do skin fold measurements, and I'm actually down 1% of body fat from the last time I took it. So, I mean, that's a plus. And at least that's a measure that's going in the right direction. And I do feel like I'm looking a little bit leaner, but my leanness is all upper body. And this is the way I always am. My upper body will just keep getting leaner and leaner and pretty much be like no fat before my lower body starts getting with the program. Then my lower body will be like, oh, okay, well, I guess we'll have to catch up a little bit, but it'll hang on for dear life, you know, for as long as it can. It's like, I am never losing any fat on my legs and my butt, but I can tell, you know, how my pants fit. If I have like, I just had some sweatpants on the other day, and in my off season, they're tight sweatpants on my butt. They were pretty baggy on my butt. So I'm still losing size, even though, you know, everything fluctuates. The scale doesn't always show what your body fat's doing. It's sort of a cycle thing. It's like your body fat will drop, but maybe the scale stays a while, and then maybe the scale will drop, but your body fat stays a while. And so that's where I am right now. And so I won't have pictures on this check-in at 9 weeks out, but I have them for the other one. So I'll have them again next week. We'll have his picture. So what's your update for the week? Because you haven't weighed in quite a while.
Couple weeks.
How long has it been since you weighed?
I don't know.
It's been a month.
It's not even that important.
It is important.
That weighed about 212. I was 211.8, I think.
The last time?
This just yesterday.
Well, what were you before that when you weighed?
209.
Let me check my app, y'all.
209.
How long ago that was? Let's see your progress.
I think it was 209.
Okay, February 12th, you were 209.6.
See?
211.8. So in 2 weeks, 2.2 pounds up.
That's how you do it.
But yeah, so we did his pictures today. I think it's still looking pretty good. It's not like going too far out on the body fat rein and all that. Of course, he said he had some, what'd you say? His
Oh.
suit was on. He had a little bit of something.
Oh,
A
just
little
a little
He
fat,
had a little fat.
fat wearing
But
my
not really.
extra medium posing trunks.
Well, if you start busting out of him, then
Yeah.
that'll be a problem.
I won't bust out of those ones. I like those ones.
Don't rip them.
nice.
If you get that big, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So anyway,
So,
I probably got. So just kind of update everybody if they're just here. What's your plan for your competition?
Oh, I don't know.
Yes, you do.
Something. So the OCB made it so you gotta qualify for the Yorton Cup now. So I won't be competing in the Yorton Cup this year. And I'm hoping that after the Yorton Cup this year, I can qualify for the Yorton Cup next year.
So that means he's thinking about maybe doing a show later in 2022.
I think it's got to be in the top. I think it's got to be in the top 3, or if you have to win. I'll have to go back and look. It's either top 3 or you have to win.
But if there is a show at the end of 2022, if it's past the Yorton Cup of 2022, then that would qualify him if he places
I think
for the 2023 Yorton Cup.
I would imagine it's like, well, I'm just assuming that it works kind of like the Olympia does for the IFBB, and after the Olympia, even if it's the same year as the Olympia, but it's after the Olympia, then that qualifies you for the next.
It would have to, because it wouldn't be like calendar year, or what would be the point of even having the shows if it didn't qualify you?
I don't know. I'm assuming that
I
need to double
that's
check
right.
on that. But if there's any OCB people watching this, post a comment down there if you know the answer to that, or I'll just have to find out and email somebody. Yeah. So that's my plan.
That's the plan. My plan, we know, is I don't know if I updated so my plan was originally I was going to do the NPC Charlotte Cup. So the Charlotte Cup is actually on Good Friday, and I have Good Friday off from school, from teaching college, but I'm not the craziest about a Friday show, for one thing. I actually really like the OCB format of straight through judging. And there is an NPC show, the Warrior Classic, that's in Richmond at the end of April 30th, actually has that format, and it's on a Saturday. And so I decided 2 more weeks could definitely be useful for me. So I like the format better. Plus, he has a sister that lives in Richmond, so she can reduce our hotel expense by like hundreds of dollars, which is a big deal. So that is kind of like my little change of plans. And so I don't really know, y'all. I have tried really hard in my off season to gain muscle. And if I gain any muscle, then I shouldn't be the same stage weight as I was all of the other times. But all of the other times, I've been a whole lot lighter than I am right now. But my body fat is actually less now, I think, or when I checked at like 11 weeks out, my body fat was less at 11 weeks out this show than I know it was in my 2018 show at 11 weeks out. So it's not like I don't think it can be done. I think I can be ready. I just don't know where I should be, like weight wise. So it's really a guess. It's more about appearance anyway. It's more about what you look like, because some people look good at a higher body fat percentage than I look. I do not look good on stage. Some girls can go like 12 to 15%. Well, I'm at 14 now, but I mean, I still got fat to lose. So I'm obviously not going to be looking good at 14%. That's not good for me. So everybody's different. Our cat's trying to come in the door. So
She's
what else you
clawing
got?
it open. And there she is. I don't know. I guess that's it, right?
Yeah, I think that's it. So anyway, let us know if you have questions, comments below, whatever. We would love to have your input and feedback and spread the love, share our channel, and let us know what you're here for.
Yeah.
So we'll talk
That's
to you
it.
next time.